that consciousness keeps on communicating or speaking to us. Now, how it communicates to us is in this way. God, or that infinite consciousness, speaks or communicates to us. You get? And that message is delivered to our higher self. Now, most of you, some of you may not know what the higher self is. The higher self is that voice of your soul that is pure, that can reach to God directly. You get? So when God communicates to us, he speaks in a language that our human mind cannot understand. So that communication is translated by our higher self. Our higher self is that consciousness that is above us, that is pure, that can reach to God. Because we, as human as we are, we cannot reach directly to God because of his greatness. But our higher self communicates direct to God. So when God delivers the message comes through, the message goes to our higher self. Our higher self is the voice of the soul, you get. And then that higher self sends the message to our subconscious mind, you get. When that message reaches our subconscious mind, if that subconscious mind is clear and it is not blocked by negativity, because when it is blocked by negativity, that message is distorted by our own subconscious mind. If our subconscious mind has negativity in it, our message that comes from source or from God is distorted, you get. And then it's not only distorted, but it is lowered. You don't easily get it because your subconscious mind is clogged with a lot of dirt in it. So that message does not come as clear as it should. And then, however much you receive it, it comes distorted by our subconscious mind. And then when the message comes to the subconscious mind, it is interpreted by our conscious mind. You get? When it is interpreted in our conscious mind, we receive it. That means if the message is distorted by the subconscious mind, it will come to our conscious mind distorted. For example, the message of source, of God, of that divine consciousness is pure. It says you are loved. But then that message is received by our higher self, or by the voice of our soul. Then that message comes to our subconscious mind. When that voice comes to our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind has negative beliefs, like, for example, when you grew up in an environment where you're not appreciated, when you're not loved unless you perform something, when you're not showed that love unless you earn it, then that message will come to our subconscious mind that from source that you are loved. But then our subconscious mind will add something to it to distort it. It will it may interpret it in a way that you are loved when you look beautiful, or you are loved when you have money. You are loved when there is something. It adds some kind of distortion to it, so that when our conscious mind interprets it, it comes distorted. That is why we think at times that I am loved only when I deliver something. I am loved only when I look beautiful. I am loved only if I have that perfect body. But that is not the message that source or God sends. It's our subconscious mind that distorts it, simply because it is clogged by a lot of negativity from the past beliefs and from the past trauma and all that. I'm going to use this simple example. Let me help you. It will help you understand this. Now, let's say God, or that divine consciousness. You can call it any name. You can call it Allah. You can call it anything. But remember, it is not described by any pronoun, because He is above all that. But then I'm trying to use this example just to put this in a clear way that may be easily understood. You get? Now let's say, for example, the divine consciousness is the president of a country. that president has a good message that he wants to send to his people. Now, he is the president, he has all the authority. Maybe he's busy, he's doing some other things. He calls the Minister of Information. Now, the president gives the Minister of Information a message to deliver to his people on his behalf, you get. Now, being that the Minister of Information has been given the direct order or instruction or a message from the president, he has to find a way of letting that message reach to the people. So that Minister of Information calls the journalists of different radio stations. The minister reads that message to the journalists. When the minister reads that message to the journalists, if the journalists have issues with the president, or if the journalists have their own issues, maybe they have, maybe the economy is not good, maybe if they have any issues, any negative issues, they will get that message, but they will interpret it in a way they want. So when those journalists get that message and interpret it in any way with distortion in it, that message will be sent to the radio station, let's say. And that radio station will deliver exactly that message that the journalists have forwarded. You get. So the citizens will receive a distorted information. Yet in actual sense, the president meant something else. So in this incident, the president is the source of that divine consciousness of God, or that divine infinite consciousness that is formless, that is everything. Gives out that message that is pure and clean. So in this case, that divine consciousness, let's say, is the president, for lack of a better explanation. Then that consciousness gives the message to the Minister of Information. That Minister of Information is the higher self, or that voice of our soul. Because that voice interprets that message from God, it knows how to interpret it. Because that consciousness speaks in vibration, speaks in symbols. You get. But our higher self, or our higher consciousness knows how to interpret that message. So in this case, that higher self is the Minister of Information. And from the Minister of Information, the message goes to the journalists, because it's those journalists that actually send the message to the radio stations and TV stations so that it is broadcasted. So the journalists in this case are the subconscious mind. So if the journalists are biased, or if the journalists have issues, any issues with them, they might easily distort that information from the higher self or from the source. So the journalists in this case are your subconscious mind. If it has negativity, if it has any distortions in it, if it has any negative beliefs in it, they will attach those beliefs to the message that came from the higher self or from source. So, but if those journalists are pure, if those journalists are good and do serve their role, they'll bring out that information as clear as it comes from source or from the president, you get. So if your subconscious mind is clear of negativity, it receives that information as clear and clean as it should be. And then from the journalists, they send that message to the station to be so that message is broadcasted. So when they send that message to the radio station brings that information or broadcasts it out to the people. So that subconscious mind is the journalists in this case. But then those journalists, or the subconscious mind, the message that is from the journalists, you get, or the message that is from your subconscious mind is interpreted by your conscious mind, so that it interprets it to you in the now. So in this case, the conscious mind is the radio station. So now you just receive the information, either distorted or as clean as it is, depending on your subconscious mind. You get? So that is how our subconscious mind works. So if you clear the subconscious mind of all the dirt and everything that is clogging it, it starts giving out the information as clear and clean as it comes right from the source. But if your subconscious mind is clogged by negativity, your message is distorted. Because the message of God, of that higher consciousness, is love, pure love, love that is unconditional. You know, all he says, all that consciousness says, you are loved the way you are. You are appreciated the way you are. You don't have to appear in a different form or in a way that is not you to be appreciated. Because that infinite consciousness created you in a unique way. Otherwise, God or that consciousness had the power to create us all the same, all thinking the same, all looking the same way. But it created us all different for a reason. To express him or to express that consciousness in different forms. You get? For example, I'm a musician. I have those qualities that make me a musician. But then there is a friend of mine that is not a musician or that does not even know about music. But maybe he's a carpenter or a barber. They express source expresses himself in that person, the way he is, in that uniqueness. So that uniqueness was you were created uniquely for a reason. It is not by mistake.